Ladies and gentle gamers, welcome back to To Be Determined. Today we have a brand new design thread from Jaya Varman talking about the future of attributes and the hunting skill that is coming out with the forging update. So if you guys enjoy, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already. We're on our way to 11,000 subs, and let's jump into it. So as you can see, we've got a pretty big thread ahead of us to go over, but it is very important, and it's about attributes mainly. That's the main thing that hunting is going to be based around, and the main thing that they're trying to change. So they're talking about balancing issues with other items and with scaling. Basically, they want to make armor sets that can be better than the Crimson Isle armor sets. Not specifically Crimson armor, from Kudra, but at least something that's better than like the Berserker gear and other things like that. And probably more of the Magma Lord and Thunder stuff. But to make things better, they would have to give them insane stats just because of attributes. Like to make an armor set that is better than 10/10 Magma Lord, they'd have to give it insane sea creature chance and insane magic find. So basically, they want attributes to still be important, but they don't want it to ruin their chance of making better armor. They also want it to go around more skills and be a little bit easier to get, because right now getting level 10 attributes is very painful. You have to get 256 of the same level, so level 1 256 times to get it up to level 10. And that is a little bit ridiculous when you think about it. They also want attributes to be able to be chosen, which we'll get into in a minute how they're going to do that. They understand that RNG of God rolls is really nice, but basically they're planning on moving it out. So we're not really going to have God roll attributes anymore after this update comes out. Again, this update is set to change. This is just a design thread and they want our feedback. So whatever we think, we can go and post on this forum and they'll take it into account. And then they're talking about perk justifications. Basically, all the attributes could be enchantments. That's pretty much how it is. And they see all of these things as an issue. All 7 of these things are an issue, and so they decided they're going to fully revamp the attribute system. And that is going to be with the hunting update that is coming out with foraging. So basically, many creatures in the world of Skyblock will have one attribute attached to them, and hunting them will allow you to gain stacks of that attribute. So instead of doing Kudra to upgrade the attributes on your Crimson gear, your attributes are going to be kind of a separate thing, which I'll talk about more here in a second. But basically, you can hunt hostile creatures by weakening them and then capturing them, and you can also hunt non-aggressive creatures such as pigs and cows, and they can be caught with different items like traps and salts. But I'm sure that it'll be more exciting than pigs and cows. Hopefully there will be like dolphins or something on the new island, we'll see. But attributes won't be applied directly to items, and players will be able to keep their progress in the new system. So there will be an attribute menu where players can select a set amount of attributes from their collection. So it's going to be a lot like, I believe, the magical power system, and each attribute will belong to a specific category such as combat, farming, fishing, foraging, blah blah blah, you get it. So based on this menu, you'll be able to choose 4 combat stats, 2 foraging stats, 2 hunting stats, 2 fishing stats, farming, mining, and global. So basically, you're going to be able to choose your attributes just like you choose your magical power, and depending on how many mobs of that type that you've hunted, you'll be able to get better attributes from that attribute power. So here's some examples that they have. You'll be able to get Hunter, which is the sea creature chance attribute, from hunting sea archers. You'll be able to get Blazing, which gives extra damage against monsters on the Crimson Isle, which is going to be really good for doing Blaze Slayer. You'll be able to get that from Flares. Crystal Blessing, which is a new attribute. It's going to give extra gemstone powder. You'll be able to get that from hunting Fists. Attributes will still have 10 tiers, but the scaling will be significantly revised. Players will no longer need 512 stacks to reach the maximum level. So it is actually 512 from level 1 to level 10, and 256 from level 9 to level 10. So basically they're trying to scale it back a little bit. It'll be a lot easier to do this. The real question is how weak you're going to have to get these mobs, because if you've got to get a flare to exactly like 100 HP without killing it to be able to capture it, it's going to be a little bit difficult. But if you have to get it to like 10% health, that'll be a lot easier. But basically, the new system is designed to provide flexibility, allowing you to swap attributes at any time, just like magical powers. So you're not confined to one specific build. Like right now, if you make a God roll Magma Lord set, then basically you have Magic Find and Blazing Fortune. and you can never change it unless you want to spend ridiculous amounts of money on a Wheel of Fate. You can see here's one of the other attributes they're going to add, Forest Brutality, which is from a chill shard that grants extra strength while on forging islands. You want to extend the system to other skills like farming, mining, and forging. This overhaul makes those extensions a lot more feasible. So we'll probably see pests on the garden have different shards that they can drop, and we already know that sea creatures are going to be getting theirs. But in the long term, with the latest updates to Minecraft, they plan to introduce a variety of creatures across different areas of the game, enriching the hunting experience. So again, they are planning on turning other versions in the future to 1.20. As they've said in previous threads, right now they're only planning on doing it for the forging island, but in the future it's going to be everywhere. Each creature is going to bring unique attributes, adding strategic depth and variety to player choices. So basically, it's going to be the magical power system, but a lot bigger and hopefully a lot more powerful. I think it'll have more of things like this that are more of like pet abilities and things. You know, this only grants strength on the forging island. That sounds like something that a pet would do, or maybe a heart of the mountain tier. But hopefully some of these abilities are really nice, and I think they will be. But now we get on to the really cool part, which is fusion. So basically you can fuse two shards that you get to make a new shard that doesn't exist anywhere else. One of these shards is increased odds of obtaining Croppies, Squash, or Fermento, obtained from obtaining a beetle shard, which is only obtainable through fusion. So basically, imagine you maxed out your hunter attributes from hunting sea creatures, and you maxed out your blazing attribute from hunting flares. You could still hunt them and use two of those shards and combine them into a new shard that isn't obtainable anywhere else, but is still useful. So that way, even if you max out a certain mob from hunting it, you can still get those attribute shards and they're still useful. Some attributes will give you their power even if they aren't actively selected in the attribute menu, so stacking those will always be worth it. For example, combat trap. Your traps catch combat creatures 1 to 10% faster, which is an inherent attribute. So inherent attributes will always be active, similar to the Grandma Wolf Pets perks. They're always active even though you don't have her equipped. And it's obtained from hunting a Dusty Bit, which is going to be a new mob, I guess, on the Forging Isle, so that'll be cool. And now we get into the big part. So for those of you that have 10-starred or 10-10'd attributes, some of your gear, high future, there's no need for concern. During the transition to the new system, they're going to ensure that you retain your existing progress and will be more generous than needed. They aim to make this change as rewarding and seamless as possible. Given that Kudra's rewards have traditionally centered around attributes, they plan to revamp Kudra's loot table to align with the new system changes, so that will ensure that rewards remain relevant and exciting. So hopefully there's some specific attributes that you can only get from Kudra, I'm guessing is the only way that they're going to be able to make this worth it. And they need to be really powerful. Like, I hope that the Magic Find attribute is not obtainable anywhere else. It would make sense if it was from Ghost, but I really hope it's not obtainable from anywhere else. Same thing for Dominance and Lifeline. If there's like 5 or even 10 specific attributes that are only obtainable from Kudra, and they remain that way, then that's probably the best way that they could do this. And what will happen to your rare items? Attributes will continue to be visible on your items as grayed out features until you choose to integrate them into the new system. While this update may impact the game's economy, we're committed to minimizing any adverse effects and ensuring a fair transition for all players. And again, your input is crucial as they implement those changes. So I think they could definitely do this right and it be worth it. It's still gonna be pretty rough for the people that have spent billions 10-10ing their armor, but at the very least you're going to get a head start, which most of the people that have 10-10'd their armor are extremely late game and they're mainly focused on these new updates. So thanks to them doing that, they're still going to have a head start on this update, which hopefully will make up for the fact that their armor it's still going to be really good if they've got it up to Infernal. And they'll still have those attributes if they want them. It's just they're not going to be as powerful as they once were. Because again, Hunter grants up to 5 sea creature chance. That is from maxing out the level. And currently, if you were to go crazy with Hunter, I believe you could get it up to 1 sea creature chance per armor piece. So if you have 10-10 full armor, that would be a total of 4 sea creature chance, which is fine. But then you take into account attributes and turn it from Hunter into Dominance. So you've got 10-10 Dominance armor plus 10-10 Dominance equipment. Basically, you're going to be losing 30 stacks of Dominance with this update. So things are going to be a lot more interesting on whether or not that's actually worth it. But you can also take into account that you're going to be able to have that Dominance in dungeons. You're going to be able to have Lifeline in dungeons, which I don't think people will use, but who knows? Could be the meta strat for drags in M7, or maybe attributes won't matter in dungeons. That might have to be a thing because this could get really powerful for dungeons. But honestly, I'm kind of excited about it. I have some pretty powerful crimson gear. I've got, you know, magic find 9 chest plate, some other cool pieces that are like level 7, level 8, and I think it's going to be worth it to transition over to this in the long run. It's going to be worth it in a lot of new areas that you weren't able to use it before, and honestly, I'm really looking forward to it. I'll actually have lifeline if I want to. I can just choose to go to lifeline instead of continuing to spend all my money on dominance for my terror. So if I ever decide to learn lifeline strats, I can do that now. Make sure to let me know what you think in the comments. I read every single comment. And also, before you go, I am doing a giveaway in my Discord. There's a link in the description. We're giving away 800 million coins. All you got to do is join, verify, and then react to the message and giveaway if you want a chance to win. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, and God bless.